Swear every time I do these videos my hair gets fluffier. Hello everyone! So as you probably know from the title of this video, I will be talking about the book The Great Gatsby and comparing it to the movie, which I finally got to see recently because Austria decided to show the English original version, but yeah, you know, not gonna worry about that anymore. The book, first of all, I just want to acknowledge the fact that this cover is fantastic. The modern classics are not available in the States, and I actually got this copy, Les bought me this copy at Shakespeare & Company in Paris, so it's kind of super duper special because it's awesome. This book, as some of you may not know, though I feel like most of you probably do by this point, follows Nick Carraway. He is the main character and narrator of the story. He's recently moved to New York, specifically Long Island, to live on West Egg because he is going to work in the bond business. He's originally from the Midwest, I believe Minnesota, and he moves to New York because it's the place to be, and he also happens to have a cousin, Daisy, who lives in the area. She lives on East Egg, which is where the old, rich, glorious families come from, and they're sort of hoity-toity about the fact that they come from old money, whereas West Egg, where Nick settles in this tiny, tiny little house, is for the nouveau riche. He happens to move in next door to this grand mansion. Like, it looks like a castle. There is a mysterious man that lives there named Jay Gatsby, and a lot of people have never actually seen him, and he has a certain reputation, and Nick can sense him around, but he doesn't meet him right away. One night he happens to go, he actually gets an invitation, a physical invitation. Most people just show up to one of Gatsby's parties, and there he meets the Grand Gatsby and sort of gets acquainted with the man who all these mysterious stories are told about, and he develops a rather good relationship with him. Gatsby reveals that he knew Daisy from 5 years ago before she was married to Tom, and he moved to West Egg specifically so he could be across the bay from her house, and he watches the green light at the end of her dock, and it's sort of the symbol of where Daisy is and where he can find her. He enlists Nick to help him bring Daisy to him so he and Daisy can pick off where they left off 5 years ago and just sort of throw Tom aside. When Gatsby and Daisy sort of meet up and get back together and their love reblossoms, things sort of get out of control, and you really get to see that aspect of rich people just not giving a crap about what happens to anybody else but themselves. There is so much going on in this book, even though it's only 177 pages, that it's really hard to sort of stop myself from keeping talking about it. I have read this book twice. The first time I read it, I was in 10th grade, so I was a sophomore in high school, and I liked it then, even though I was being forced to read it for school. However, rereading it now on my own in preparation for the movie, I liked it way more. I made myself slow down and really take in everything that was going on and really try and understand all of the little things that were being said and the humor and whatnot, and I enjoyed it even more. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars for the reread. So the movie is directed by Baz Luhrmann, which right away should give you an idea of the sort of style that it was done in. It was in 3D and it was so colorful, and just with the 3D, it almost didn't look real. Actually, it didn't look real in some parts. Other parts it looked real, but a lot of the time I was sort of like, this looks like an animated movie because it was so fantastical and overdone. We had Tobey Maguire playing Nick Carraway. I don't particularly care for Tobey Maguire, but I actually really liked him in this role. I thought he fit Nick Carraway's sort of attitude very well. We had Carey Mulligan as Daisy and Leonardo DiCaprio as Jay Gatsby. There were a number of similarities and also a number of differences, but I'll focus on the similarities first. One thing that I loved was that there were lines taken directly from the book and put right into the movie, and it was mostly all of the really important ones that people remember, like Gatsby saying that of course you can repeat the past, you know, boat speeding on, that was at the end just like it is at the end of the book. It flowed well in the sense that I felt like they kept, you know, that essence of the book in there, and it was also because the book is on the shorter side, they were able to include basically everything that happens in the book into the movie. Although they did, you know, sort of shift some things around, they had everything major that I could think of happen. Baz Luhrmann is notorious for putting modern music into his movies. He did this with Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet, well, Romeo plus Juliet, and he does it again for The Great Gatsby. I was curious as to how I would feel about this because I liked it in Moulin Rouge, but it was just sort of threw me off in Romeo and Juliet. and I actually really liked it, especially the party scene when the first party that Nick goes to when he gets the actual invitation, and the rap music playing in the background slash party, you know, it was kind of a mix of both. I was really feeling it, actually. I would have loved to have gone to a party like that. It looked pretty sweet. I thought all of the actors embodied their roles well, including the actor who played Tom and Jordan, and even the crazy guy in the library. He gets mentioned in the book a couple times, and he is also in the movie, and I was sort of like, you know, chuckling to myself because that's awesome that they managed to include him as well. Some of the differences were extreme, and most of it has to do with the fact that Baz Luhrmann is directing, and it was in 3D, and it was very like, Main difference is the scenes that humored me in the book were way funnier in the movie. When Gatsby meets Daisy for the first time in about 5 years, his stress level, it's evident in the book, and it's, you know, sort of funny if not a little sad, whereas in the movie it's hilarious and it's really entertaining, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio really took it to the next level, and probably Baz wanted him to, but it was just, it works in that sense. The sad parts in the movie felt even sadder. They felt almost over-dramatized. Like the happy parts, that parties were crazy, but when people die, it was even sadder. There were some storyline changes. The most evident one was the fact that in the beginning, Nick is talking to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist recommends that he start writing this story down, which obviously leads to, it's supposed to sort of indicate leading towards the actual written version of this book. In the book, he doesn't end up at a psych hospital after all of the events happen, he just moves back home to Minnesota. I guess you could infer that maybe he went to a psychiatrist following everything that happened, but in the movie, it's definite, and he looks much more depressed, as I said. The extreme scenes are even more extreme. We find out Jay Gatsby's history a different way. Gatsby actually tells Nick a lot of what happened and in the movie, whereas in the book, Nick finds it out from relatives of Gatsby's, and so it means that there was a certain character cut out of the film, but once again, it did work. It wasn't horrible, oh my god, why did they change everything? You know, it was just one part that I noticed that was relatively evident at the end of the book that they just kind of decided to get away with in the movie. I think I'd give the movie 3.5 stars now that I've had some time to think about it. It was a good movie, the actors were good, the music was pretty sweet, but it was just so fantastical, and the 3D was just way overdone. I definitely recommend the book. Read the book. The movie, up to you. Depends on how you feel about Baz Luhrmann and what you know about his directing style. Just in the comments, let me know what you thought of the movie, what you thought of the book, anything. I tried to keep it spoiler-free. It's hard when you're doing book-to-movie comparisons about something this famous to sort of keep it spoiler-free while still getting all of your feelings across, but hopefully this has sort of inspired some of you who are on the edge about reading The Great Gatsby to actually go and read it, because I really think it's well worth your time. Take it slow, really take everything in, and I think you'll appreciate the book a lot more than if you're like, oh, this is a classic, and you just sort of go through it. Love it for what it is. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.